If it ain't broke, still fix it. Hey guys, Sonyx here. Before I even get into this, I just want to say how incredibly grateful I am for just the amount of support that I've got on this channel. We're already 3/4 of the way to 1,000 subscribers. We're at 750 plus. So you guys are awesome for making this happen, and I just feel so much more confident in speaking now and the growth that this channel has become, and I just want to thank all of you for making that happen. So if it ain't broke, still fix it. The correct quote or phrase that we hear in society now is, if it ain't broke, don't fix it, right? Now, what does this mean? It is essentially saying that if it's something is working, why change it, right? However, I argue that the correct way of saying this, or the correct quote we should be having, is, if it's doing very well, then don't fix it. Because just because something isn't broken doesn't mean it doesn't need to be changed. There's always room for a little bit of improvement. There's always room for more growth. So if it ain't broke, still fix it. See, recently I've noticed that I've become just comfortable of just being. There's no much growth, not much decline, just stagnant, just stationary. I'm just floating, you know? It's like saying, you know, and there's nothing wrong with that, right? I mean, why fix it, right? If it ain't broke, don't fix it. But no, because like I said, if you become comfortable, there's always room to improve. For example, like somebody is working in a job, right? And they love this job. This job is, he better be paying this job. You know, this job isn't even paying him. It's like he wants to go to work every day. You know, this person, and it's helping pay for his bills, everything for his life, right? That is, if it ain't broke, don't fix it, because now it's not broke, it's actually serving him really well, this person, right? This made up person. But let's say we have another person, right? And this person is going to work, and there are good days and there are bad days, sure, but this person is starting to dread their work. They don't really want to show up. It's affecting their lives negatively, and their relationships with people. They're bringing their work home, but I mean, they're getting by. They're getting their bills paid. They know their job, right? So why leave? If it ain't broke, don't fix it. This is where this comes into play, because many times in our life, things aren't broken per se. We're just okay with it, and we'll just deal with it, because I mean, it's what we know, right? We don't want to change. It's not broken. It's getting things by. So why should we fix it, right? A personal example of mine is, I used to, back in high school, I never drank, coffee or consumed any caffeine at all. But as soon as I went into college, well, that changed, because in college, like, it is definitely more demanding. It's not as easy as high school is. So what did I do? I decided to try a little bit. So I drank some coffee and consumed some caffeine. I mean, caffeine is a drug. It's a legal drug, but it's a drug. And slowly over time, like any drug, your brain becomes tolerant, which means you require higher dosage or dosing for it to work effectively. I mean, this is why some people need 3 to 4 cups of coffee after 5 years versus only just that 1 cup on the first week of coffee. This was me. I mean, back in my first year, I started off with a tiny bit, nothing too crazy. And gradually over time, I realized I needed more of this coffee as I got less sleep. So then I figured, well, why sleep when this miracle coffee exists, right? What's the purpose of sleep? And then I realized at the end of the day, I was using caffeine, well, a legalized drug, right, as a crutch to replace an important biophysiological need. But I never saw the problem, right? What's the problem, right? I just used caffeine as a replacement for sleep. It wasn't broken. It was working for me, right? If it ain't broke, don't fix it. That's what they say, right? No, I didn't realize it until too late. You know, I promised a friend that I was gonna call her after my classes ended, and this was an important talk that I was, you know, I promised her that I was gonna call her about this thing and chug my coffee like normal in the morning. And coffee just makes you like a zombie, right? You don't really remember anything that goes on in your day. You don't sleep. It just kind of makes you a zombified human being. So, you know, ultimately, I just did the things I needed to do. I forgot about this phone call, and it, it didn't turn out all that good because she really needed someone to talk to, and she depended on me. Of course, I apologize for this, and I started to realize that this was now affecting my life. So it really was broken all along. I just didn't realize it. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. That's what I was going with my entire life. So what did I do, right? I spent a week, you know, we had a week for winter break, right? I mean, the school I went to only had like a week or two. That's insane, right? Some schools have a whole 2 months. So I spent a week during winter break to just try the no caffeine thing. You know, I get rid of it. I'm telling you, at first, man, it absolutely sucked the living hell out of my soul because I was relying so much on caffeine to keep me awake that even with decent sleep, it felt horrible still without it. You know, it's a legalized drug. I mean, so over time though, like maybe after a few days, after a week or two, I started to realize that, if I sleep a little more and cut caffeine a little less, sure, at first it was definitely not easy, but I felt this same energy, in fact, even more energy than I would if I drank more caffeine. So I did this whole thing where I deep dove into sleep. So I tried fixing my sleep schedule, like the blackout curtains, you know, the no electronics of 1 hour, the blue light thing. Remember that? I did everything, the deep breathing, everything that you could think of to help sleep. I mean, do I do that every day? No. Do I do that even once a month? Probably not. But I did it at first just to see how well I could actually replace, you know, caffeine with sleep. You know, I just go back to being natural again. So I did. And I don't really drink coffee or caffeine all that much anymore because I just sleep. You know, I actually got back into what our human bodies are supposed to do. So I was pretty much broken, but I didn't realize it. My routine was broken. Never realized it. I just used the same quote. If it ain't broke, don't fix it, right? But it was broken. I was broken, but didn't realize I needed it until it, like I said, it affected my personal life and my relationships with people. Another way that you could interpret this is how it can affect your close relationships with people. For example, one of my exes and I were in pretty good terms when we left, but when we first got into the relationship, we talked a lot. And over time, we just realized we started talking a little less, but found out that was fine, right? I mean, we both agreed that it wasn't really hurting us, right? I mean, we weren't growing, but we weren't declining either. We just, like I said, we stayed the same. It wasn't broken. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. But then I realized that this really wasn't the relationship that I got into at first. This wasn't the values that I upheld. This wasn't what I was looking for. I just became comfortable with us talking less. But I didn't realize that it wasn't broken until it was too late. See, I wanted communication. I wanted a partner that would actually talk to me. But I was fine with just letting it, because hey, it was mutual, right? There's nothing wrong. Nothing's getting affected. But I settled because of this mentality that I had. There was nothing wrong with it. Nope. There was a lot of things wrong with it. I started becoming comfortable with not communicating, and that kind of transpired with other people now. It started to kind of seep through other relationships I had with friends, with family. I just didn't feel like talking as much. It starts off with that, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. But you have to find that thing that you think is okay and fix it. Find ways to improve your relationships with people, even if you think it's just okay right now. You might think that relationship you have with that friend, or that relationship you have with your mom or your dad or your brother, or who cares who it is, just is okay right now. Right? I mean, you're not fighting. There's nothing wrong. So why fix it? There are things. There's always something that you can do to improve your relationships with people. So things can just be okay. So make it better. Find aspects in your life that you think is okay, but really question that. Like, is this actually okay, or am I just saying that? Even for your own personal life, for me, it was sleep. You know, that was the biggest thing for me, the whole sleep thing and the caffeine. But it could literally be anything in your personal life that you think is affecting you. Like, for example, like if you know that you don't eat all that well and you want to improve your nutrition, but you're just getting by. I mean, like, hey, you're eating fast food 3 times a week, but I mean, nothing's happening, right? Well, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Later down the road, that might bite you back. So, if it ain't broke right now, you gotta fix it. You still have to find a way to improve your life and question everything that you're doing that you feel is comfortable. Question if it's negatively affecting your life, because there's always a way to become a better version of yourself, better and healthier version of yourself than you were yesterday. So the bottom line is, keep on improving yourself. Keep on becoming somebody that you never thought you could be. Because I believe in you more than you know. So, thank you so much for watching today's awesome video. I hope all the cool movement that we've done here is awesome. And please never forget, if it ain't broke, still fix it. Have an awesome rest of your day, and take care.